I doubt it, but I'm not. You couldn't say. I mean, there's going to be a few of those sort of horses that like to roll forward. I'm not sure if he'd get to the front in a race like the Mowbridge Cup, but he's certainly going well enough to have a crack at a race like that if they wanted to. But perhaps the timing just not quite right.
Yeah, Mick Huxtable's actually about to join us for a quick chat, so we'll have a quick chat to Mick before we get back to Caulfield for the build-up to the Caulfield Guineas. But we've just seen the 1,000 Guineas run, as we said, in Melbourne, and mixed filly ecumenical. Mick, you must have been absolutely delighted with her performance in the 1,000 Guineas off a wide trip from that bad barrier.
Yeah, she didn't have any favours, that's for sure.
Are you going to press on towards the Oaks with her?
No, she's not in the Oaks. She might be here next year over here. She's still very immature, that filly.
So will you give her another run in Melbourne?
Yeah, probably give her another one.
And you must be delighted to have this bloke back in the form that he showed us 12 months ago.
Yeah, he is back. Actually, he's got a lot more nick on him now, you know, he's thickened up. Yeah, he's going somewhere this time. When
he won last time, Mick, I asked you about the Murray Bridge Cup, which is, of course, coming up this Friday. Yeah. Would you contemplate throwing in a nom?
Nah.
No?
No.
Any idea where he'll go next?
Probably back down here, a little bit further. Yeah, just let the dust settle.
All right, you've had a good half an hour, Mick. Anyway, well done, mate.
Thank you.
Mick Huxtable there. So Retro wins the favourite, race number 6 at Orfordville. As we said, we're about to start the build-up towards the Caulfield Guineas. Let's go back to Mick.
Good on you, Terry. Well, just over an hour ago, Russian Camelot was beaten by Arcadia Queen. And Simo, I'm really keen to know how the Sportsbet Cox Plate market has reacted.
$2.90 out to $3.20. Russian Camelot. He's still favourite, Nick, after being defeated by Arcadia Queen. Now, Arcadia Queen was $26 prior to winning the Caulfield Stakes today. She's now into $6. And then we have Armory, who's at $10. Sir Dragon A at $10 also. Aspetar, $13 has come in. And Probabile shifted in from $34 into $13 after she won the Epsom. That's the update for the Cox Plate. Arcadia Queen, 26 into $6, now second favourite.
Yeah, there she is, straight to second favourite behind Russian Camelot. Well, Brent Zarafa's on-top selection in the Caulfield Guineas is King's Legacy, and Jane Ivel's out the back with King's Legacy right now.
Really excited to see King's Legacy here in Victoria for the Caulfield Guineas. I remember him as a yearling at the Magic Millions Gold Coast yearling sale, knocked down for $1.4 million, and he was an outstanding type. What I can say from what I've seen from him today is he's only continued to grow and mature. I'm sure he's going to get his chance later on today in the Group 1 feature.
Yeah, it'd be a fantastic effort if he can get the Caulfield Guineas after winning at Group 1 level in the autumn as a 2-year-old in the Champagne Stakes. Simo, is there any money for King's Legacy?
He's been quite firm with us, Nick, that is for sure, for the Caulfield Guineas. He said the Vic 3-year-olds weren't as good as the Sydney 3-year-olds, after the fillies edition with Odeon getting the cash. Well, Ola Kirk, he's favourite, he's holding his price and he's very solid with Sportsbet. Then you've got Tagaloa, he's been the big shift today. $5 now into $3.90. The way this track is playing, he is the map horse who's going to sit up on speeds. And there's King Legacy, he's $7.50, holding that $7 mark. He's been quite solid with us. Moanga is a horse that he's been really solid with us. He's always popular, so $7 is holding quite firm versus the price there. Camborne gets the blinkers on, rolls forward, you would think, into $12 has been spec'd. And look at Crosshaven, got to roll across from that outside barrier. $11 out to $13. Asar is $26. He'll get back and run on. An Amish Boy's a real roughie at $27. Ola Kirk holding it favourite, $3.80, but there's a big push for Tagaloa.
Just under 20 minutes away now to the $2 million feature, the Caulfield Guineas, and Ola Kirk. Can he do the Golden Rose Caulfield Guineas double?
Ola Kirk and North Pacific down the outside. Rothfire lead to the 175. Here they come. Ola Kirk and North Pacific the outside. Ola Kirk, North Pacific, stride for stride. Ola Kirk, North Pacific, bob of the heads. Ola Kirk.
At Bet365, our members come first. With our Top Tote Plus, you'll get great value on your exotics. If your Quinella, Trifecta, First Four, or Quaddy is a winner, you'll get the best payout across all 3 national totes this Saturday at Caulfield, Randwick and Doombend. Bet365, the world's favourite online betting company. Gamble responsibly.
G'day, it's Billy Slater here. Join me and the Queensland Rogues.
Join me in the New South Wales Tycoons.
Join me in the WA Black Hearts.
Join me and the Vic Hustlers in the world's first horse racing league.
It's just $200 to own a share in 6 premium race horses.
Go to trl.net to find out more and join our team today.
It's going to be fun.
Go the Tycoons.
Go the Black Hearts.
Go Queensland.
Biowormer and Livermole with Biowormer, the world's first biological control for grazing animals. Breaks the worm cycle naturally. For further information, visit biowormer.com or contact us on the hotline.
Over 20 years of unsurpassed excellence. Stakes wins in 7 different countries, including victories in the Australian, Victorian, Queensland and New Zealand derbies. OTI Racing. Race with integrity, race with passion, race with us.
Can't get to the track? Don't worry, Sportsbet will bring the track to you. Download the Sportsbet app for everything you need to make betting on the races easy. You can check out a horse's recent form with key stats, handy. Follow the late money with flux and market movers. Get them while they're hot. And even get independent expert tips and race previews from Best Bets for every Aussie track every day. Racing in the palm of your hand with Sportsbet.
First run in 1881, the Caulfield Guineas has long been dubbed the stallion-making race. And when you consider in the last 2 decades alone, it is not a throwaway line, as it has been won by young stallions the Autumn Sun and Shooting to Win, Group 1 sires All Too Hard and Star Spangled Banner. Dual Dubai World Cup winning sire Helmet, the incredible Lonhro, and the stallion icon Redute's Choice.
Redute's ditch, he lunges and wins!
For the talented young colts today, their owners are dreaming not only of a chunk of the $2 million prize money, but a future stud deal which could change their lives forever. 5 of the past 9 years, the winner of the Caulfield Guineas has used Sydney's Group 1 Golden Rose as a lead up to the race. So expect a forward showing from Ola Kirk, King's Legacy and Mama Ragan. Team Hawks' Ola Kirk, out of a full sister to the mighty Black Caviar, is a very valuable colt with a huge future at stud assured. Can he become the 3rd horse to complete the Golden Rose Guineas double? Chris Waller has won the Guineas 2 of the past 5 years and pins his hopes on another Guineas win on the unbeaten Muwanga. In the saddle is Damian Oliver, looking for his 2nd Caulfield Guineas win, an incredible 30 years after his last in 1990. The Caulfield Guineas, Australia's stallion-making classic. It's got such a rich history, doesn't it, the Caulfield Guineas, and this year's edition is a beauty. We're blending in once again the Melbourne and the Sydney form references. Big advantage in the 1,000 Guineas to the Melbourne fillies. Will the Sydney Colts bounce back here, Nick Ashman, as we assess the market for the Caulfield Guineas?
Well, the market's telling us, Richard, that the Blue Diamond Stakes winner from earlier this year is the horse to beat in the Caulfield Guineas. Tagaloa now $3.80 and favourite for the race. Can you believe it? Has arrested the top spot from Ola Kirk, who's now a $4.20 chance. Mowanga's pretty solid around that $7 mark. Not a bad sign for him. And King's Legacy, the only other runner under double figure odds at $7.50. Don't forget about the Odds Drift Protector. Get the bigger price every race, every day.
This mounting yard is brought to you by Stella Artois. 600 years of practice makes perfect.
The Ned's Caulfield Guineas, Group 1 for the 3-year-olds, classic race, $2 million in prize money. And here is the Blue Diamond winner in Tagaloa trying to do what the other Blue Diamond winner, Redute's Choice, did. Use the Rupert Clark as a lead-up, and Brent, I thought he ran really well in it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of merit in both his runs, this preparation. First up, he had the big weight in the McNeil Stakes because he had the penalty for being a Group 1 winner, and he was strong late after being challenged. Then last time out, he was caught wide up on the speed in the Sir Rupert Clark Stakes. And even though he had 54 kilos, that was quite a high weight for a 3-year-old taking on the older horses. He looks ready to be hitting his peak now, 3rd up.
Jane, how is he presenting physically?
Well, he's tightened up with every run this preparation, so it's fair to say this is the best parade he's demonstrated this time round, as you would expect, hitting his peak for his main target.
We move to horse number 2. He costs $1.4 million as a yearling. He's a colt by Redute's Choice. He's already got 2 Group 1s on his CV. King's Legacy.
And speaking of hitting his target, I would assume this is the race that the Peter and Paul Snowden team had circled in their calendar from the start of the campaign with King's Legacy. He's already a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old, and to me, he is the horse to beat here. I think he's going to eat up the 1600.
He's a very muscular colt. He's very strong, carries himself really well in the yard. Again, I don't have a profile on him because I haven't seen him previously. He has got a little bit warm. As you can see, he's sweating in the flank and he's sweating between the back legs, but he's not getting himself worked up at all.
Number 3 is Ola Kirk. Terrific win in the Golden Rose. The Hawks team know what it takes to win this race. They've won it on 3 occasions.
He's already got the Group 1 under his belt, having won the Golden Rose last time out. That was the 3rd run of his preparation compared to King's Legacy, who was only 2nd up. So he may have had a bit of advancement on him in terms of fitness, but he's been terrific in all runs this campaign. He'll be savaging the line.
Now, I remember filming him as a yearling for racing.com, and he's got a little bit of length about him, and he's just got stronger, really. I think the 1600 metres is going to suit him. He's got a great attitude.
Here's a colt by Wanjana. Michael Rod looking for another Guineas. He won on Who Begot You and Marmaragan.
He was ridden aggressively in a fast-run Golden Rose last time out. I'm not sure if they're going to be the tactics that are required if he's going to run out a strong 1600 here. He wasn't too far from King's Legacy and the like as a 2-year-old in the English size, and if he gets back to that form, he could be in the mix.
Here's a 3-year-old that's probably been forgotten. Number 6 in Crosshaven. Is he underestimated?
Potentially, because his win in the Exford Plate over 1400 metres at Flemington 2 starts ago was terrific, and he was also strong in the Guineas Prelude last time out.
Looks great in the yard. He's just workmanlike. You know exactly what to expect from him. He's improved right the way through the campaign, and it's another great parade from him. Don't discount him.
And he's a gelding in a race that certainly does lead from a stallion roster point of view for the Colts. Here's Amish Boy, a colt by Star Witness.
He's had 2 runs back this time in. He was terrific first up behind Doubtland, then he improved to be 2nd behind Crosshaven in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. From the inside draw, he should get a lovely run just on the back of the speed, but he does need to go up a cog if he's going to beat some of these horses coming down from Sydney.
The VRC Sires winner, number 8, Luna Fox.
I'm not convinced he's racing as well as he may have been as a 2-year-old. Some of the juveniles may have caught up to him now as a 3-year-old. But look, he was okay over the mile last time out, but I don't think it was a good enough run to be winning this race.
Horse named after the great All Black and Richie Muanga is horse number 9, Canoli, when his 2nd Guineas 30 years after his first.
His 2 runs this preparation have been quite remarkable in the way that he's been able to get himself out of a pocket and savage the line. I know the opposition that he's been facing is not up to the same standard of the Group 1 class of some of his rivals, but he has the X factor.
Well, he is named after a great athlete, and he looks like a great athlete. He's only a neat type. He doesn't have a lot of muscle mass. He's not a heavy colt, but he's a very athletic one. In good shape for this, and he's lovely and relaxed in the yard.
Here's the colt by Deep Field, Asar.
He gets the blinkers on for the first time, and he was the best of the closers in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. He looks set to peak out to the 1600.
Yeah, look, I really like him on type. He's a lovely horse, and as you say, the stretch out to 1600 metres is going to suit him on type. Blinkers go on. He's no more worked up than he normally gets in the yard.
11 is Camborne, another colt by Redute's Choice. Blinkers go on for the first time.
I thought there was a lot of merit to his performance in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. It was a relatively slowly run race. He was back in the field, and when the sprint went on, he was just left a little flat-footed. But he gets the blinkers on here for the first time, and he's a colt that is looking for the extra ground.
Yeah, look, he's a lovely big colt. He's very strong. He stands over plenty of ground. He's got a great attitude, does everything right, even with the blinkers on. I can say that he's alert and he's awake, but he's nice and relaxed.
Well, number 12, Natural Choice, was certainly alert and awake last start. When they went forward on him, we saw an improved performance.
Yeah, they did go forward, but he led at quite a controlled speed. They weren't going fast at all, and I think that's why he landed in front. And considering that he had a soft time in front, I have to query whether he is going to be strong enough at the 1600 metres to be competitive in this race.
I think it's a fair query. What about the brother to Jamaica, called Grand Slam?
Well, he's coming through what is clearly an easier races than what he faces here today. He's sort of taking the backdoor route straight into the Group 1, but by the sound of things, the team at Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace Racing have got a big opinion of Grand Slam. He's got a fair bit of expectation considering his older sister is Jamaica, but he looks to be an improving type. He just may not be ready to be competitive at this top level.
Well, Colt by So You Think, and So You Think wasn't able to win at Caulfield Guineas, but then, of course, at his next start, he won the Cox Plate. It's 14, Poland.
Well, he defeated Grand Slam at Flemington on that Wednesday program, and it was the first time the blinkers went on and he really savaged the line. Prior to that, he was only beaten less than a length behind Asar. Asar was okay in the Caulfield Guineas prelude, so you can tie a line through those races.
And Captain Corelli rounds out the field.
I think he looks more to be a Derby type rather than a Guineas type. He's by Tavistock. He was good winning his maiden over the 1400 on wet ground. He was just a little bit flat-footed when they put the sprint on last time out, but this would be a run that could see him continuing to improve as he steps up in distance.
All right, Brent, it's a big field. It's a quality field, one of the great Caulfield Guineas fields. Your top four?
I'm going with King's Legacy. This looks to be an exciting race and a difficult race because we've got a number of strong winning chances. But I just think from a price perspective, the gamble that I want to take is with the horse that I believe is set to peak now, getting to the 1600 metres for the first time this campaign. Mwanga is the X factor. Ola Kirk has to be respected. And the horse that just continues to firm is Tagaloa. So they're my top four, but I'm going with King's Legacy on top.
Tagaloa on top for me. He's a colt that's always had a lot of quality about him. We know that he was the Blue Diamond winner here on this track. He has just tightened up really nicely with every run this campaign. He's peaking for his target. The team have got him here in superb order. I loved his attitude in the mounting yard. He was so nice and relaxed. So Tagaloa gets the nod for me in this one, but there's some really nice parades in behind him. I thought Camborne looked outstanding with the blinkers on today. Nice and relaxed, but very focused. And Mwanga, he's just a real athlete. So they're the two I'd be wary of, but Tagaloa on top.
OK, Tagaloa has been the best back late here, Jane. He's into $3.90 as I talk to you and takes over favouritism from Ola Kirk. Ola Kirk, he is the hold, dominates the turnover, or just dominates the turnover from Tagaloa. It's between those two. Mwanga, well, he's had his supporters all the way through. Him and King's Legacy have been quite firm right through. But as I talk to you, he's dropping in and out of $3.90 to $4, your favourite, Tagaloa. This has been a nice go late for him. Ola Kirk, as I mentioned, solid at the 440. And Camborne, there's been some good money, 15 into $9.15 late. Some good bets for number 11, Camborne.
Peter Snowden joins us, the trainer of number 2 in King's Legacy. Pete, great to see you down in Melbourne. It comes with a sacrifice, but you're keen to get down here amongst your horses?
No, absolutely, mate. It's a great carnival, as we know. We've got a few coming down and some live chances, so we're going to try and keep no stone unturned and do the best we can to get them as good as we can.
How did this colt travel down to Melbourne? How's he settled in?
Really well. He left Wednesday night, got here Thursday, and I got to see him late yesterday afternoon, but he travelled down terrific. He's in good order.
How do you compare him to Helmet and Long John and Shooting to Win Guineas winners that you've presented?
I could give you a better measure in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. But look,
what's your gut feel, though?
No, I think he's right up there, every bit as good as those horses. He's got a lot of potential. He's still very raw. But he showed really good ability at 2. He's a much stronger horse, his preparation, so I like to think that he's certainly every bit as good as those horses, yeah.
When he won those 2 Group 1s as a 2-year-old, I reckon this might have been the race that you penciled in straight away as you were keen to get to?
Yeah, once you won the Champagne, it's always a logical target to head to, but you've got to hope they come back, but I feel pretty confident he has.
Your reaction when you saw the slightly awkward gate that Huey drew?
Wasn't good, wasn't pretty, but there's not much we can do about it. As Huey said, he's a good calming influence, because I was scratching my head thinking, what do we do here? But he just kept it simple. He's not a horse to race on speed anyway, but we need a little bit of luck, as you do from bad gates, but that's why you put these guys on. You're hoping for that one of Huey Bowman's special and certainly help him.
OK, and then you're in the Toorak. You've got a horse named after your son, Paul. I Am Superman. How will he run?
Yeah, he's in great form. He's in great form. He's just turned the corner this preparation compared to last prep. He was always in a hurry to do everything. Wet tracks are against him, but this time he's a much more relaxed horse. He's just asleep down the stalls down there, and he looks amazing. So he's going to run a really good race for sure.
And the fact that he's been here to Caulfield gives you a lot of confidence.
Well, that was the plan, and the plan was to run the Sir Rupert Clark, but once he missed out there, we had to duck home, but didn't let the side down. He raced really well and won well at Rose Hill, but he's trained on again. He's in great order. He'll run very well today.
Great to see you and good luck.
Pleased to be here. Thanks, mate.
There he is, Peter Snowden, star trainer, and he's won a host of Group 1 races over the years. BZ, and very good with these 3-year-olds.
Yeah, and he looks to have a really strong chance in King's Legacy, who's holding his place in the market at $7. Ola Kirk's just getting out to 420, being equal favourite with Tagaloa. So the two big guns are the Blue Diamond winner versus the Golden Rose winner. Let's get the latest from Wayne Hawkes.
Well, Wayne, I know you'll tell me the truth. What do you think about the lineup, Sydney versus Melbourne? You've probably got the Colt to beat.
Yeah, look, you know what? It's always the same thing every year, isn't it? But I don't think Peter and I would be swapping for our two runners in this race. They've done everything right, those two horses, and you know what? It's a great rivalry, and it just always seems to come down to this race, doesn't it? So it's a good spot to be in, especially when you've got a good one.
Yeah, well, you would have watched his build-up in Sydney. He's now come down into your care in Melbourne. How has he been? Yeah, he's been really good. He's just lovely and relaxed. He's done everything right, and he's back in his old box. And yeah, he was here as an unraced baby, and he had his first start in Melbourne, so he's back in the old routine and just doing what he does. Gets out to the mile again for the first time since he was a 2-year-old. What are the plans out there on the track from the draw? Yeah, well, his mile was the Champagne. He was probably a little bit unlucky not to have won that. He had to go back to last and rocketed at home. So Willie's just going to have him where he is and put him under no pressure. And I told the horse his uncle all too hard won this race. It's not that hard a race to win. So if you want bragging rights, he's got to go and do the job. All the best with him out there today. Thank you.
Always good for a comment, isn't he, Wayne Hawkes? Quick stat, we mentioned this off the top of the day, and this he's certainly on the right horse. Craig Williams' strike rate in Group 1s for the past 12 months, BZ, 26%. I don't have the stats, but I reckon that would be close to a record for a jockey.
Yeah, he's certainly knows how to turn it on in the big ones, and he's got a horse who's got a lovely draw in Tagaloa for his racing style, because he's got the opportunity to take advantage of that draw, and that should see him somewhere near the front of the field, potentially controlling this race. But it looks a really strong contest, as you would like to expect the Caulfield Guineas. On with King's Legacy and Mwanga. I think they're the value plays at 7.50.
OK, Ben Asgari, final thoughts?
Yeah, speed map going to be fascinating. You'd think that there's a couple going to come across from wider draws, but Craig Williams, he holds the aces from that barrier. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
The $2 million Caulfield Guineas over the famous Caulfield Mile. Let's head up to Matt Hill.
Now, what's happening? Tagaloa was going into the stalls, but was called away. And they've taken out Captain Corelli out of barrier number 2. So I just wonder if they're using the wrong stall here. Yes, they've had to move Captain Corelli out 1. Now here's Tagaloa being brought forward. Tagaloa needs to go into barrier number 3. So now they've got their ducks in a row over there. Tagaloa about to come along. Luna Fox comes forward. National Choice Azar to come forward with Crosshaven. Grand Slam with the John Allen sporting a white cap, and Ola Kirk, the Golden Rose winner, to have done the Rose Guineas double in the past. So on the tote, it's 370 the favourite, Ola Kirk. It's currently 440 with bookmakers. Still Tagaloa holds the call on VOP. Ola Kirk, last minute towel down. Willie Pike, what a day he's had so far with 3. Goes into a middle stall, Ola Kirk. Crosshaven now joining the line to complete it. The Caulfield Guineas for Neds at 1600. Field is set to run. Ready, gates are back and they're away. Pretty good line. National Choice today is going to drift back towards the end, with also Mounga, and out the back of the field out wide is Mar Marigan. Showing speed is Crosshaven with Poland. Grand Slam Tagaloa up along the inside, Amish Boy, so almost 5 across the track. Azar behind those horses, and then came Ola Kirk, and then Luna Fox, a length Camborne, King's Legacy, National Choice, Titan for Room, Mar Marigan second last, Mounga is last of all. So the leader, Grand Slam, off the back at the 1,000 by a length and a quarter, Poland. Crosshaven is third, and then came Tagaloa, who keeps it wide. Captain Corelli, the fence, a length and a half, Amish Boy. Then came Azar off the track as they reached the railway side. In between horses, next in the field is Ola Kirk, a length and a half, Camborne, Luna Fox. Then Mar Marigan, third last, National Choice, and then came King's Legacy back to second last, and Mounga with a big assignment last. So the leader, Grand Slam, kept the them running at the 600 metres. A length and a quarter Poland, then Crosshaven. Further back, Captain Corelli Azar. Then came Amish Boy. Campbell to the outside as they come towards the turn. Next in the field is Ola Kirk, saving for runs, and would only be about 5 or 6 off the lead as they corner. 300 to go. Grand Slam tries to pinch it. 2 lengths, Captain Corelli, Crosshaven. Then Amish Boy Azar. Ola Kirk down the outside, running on. Grand Slam at the 200. Azar with big bold strides, and Ola Kirk coming with it. Azar at the 100. Ola Kirk driving. Ola Kirk up to Azar. It's got it. Ola Kirk up the Guineas and neck. Azar second. Third Grand Slam from Crosshaven, Luna Fox, then Amish Boy. Next to finish in the race was Mounga, and then Captain Corelli, King's Legacy, Camborne, National Choice, Poland. Well back in the field then was Marmarigan and Tagaloa amongst the tail enders.
What an incredible win by Ola Kirk. He wins the Golden Rose. He comes down and captures the Caulfield Guineas, and William Pike is having a day to cherish, a day never to forget. 4 winners on Caulfield Guineas Day, including 2 Group 1s, and he's able to steer this colt by Written Tycoon, who is now worth a fortune. Written Tycoon out of Black Caviar's full sister. He's won 2 Group 1s, and the Hawks team know how to produce a colt. They've produced a beauty to win the Caulfield Guineas and come over the top of Azar, who looked home. He was so brave, but he gets run down. 3:10:13 in Grand Slam. Jamaica's little brother is placed in a Caulfield Guineas, and number 6, Crosshaven, running 4th. Well, Nick, he was bred in Victoria, but he's done his racing in Sydney. The Sydney form held up.
Oh, we'll be claiming him as a Victorian, though. I think, Richo, what a day for Willie Pike. Great effort from him. Azar, we knew he was a quality horse. He's bounced back, and Grand Slam might be a horse to follow as well. Let's get Willie Pike.
Can it get any better, mate? This has been an unbelievable day. Talk us through the run. You were following Tagaloa, and it didn't take you anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. When I got on Tagaloa's back, I was pretty happy with myself. I thought, oh, half my job's done here. Then it was gone before acceptances, so plan B, C and D all come out all at once.
What about when everything just started opening up? You made that pass to the outside. You knew you were home?
Not really. Look, I sort of went in, and then I went